But now bring me a minstrel. And it came to pass, when the minstrel played, that the hand of the Lord came upon him. 2 Kings chapter 3, verse 15. So what I want to demonstrate now for the first several videos is using simple chord progressions. So at first I was playing a melody, and a good jazz musician is able to play a melody immediately as they're, as immediate as they can sing it, and simultaneously. So you could just whip off a melody, da 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 da, and a good jazz musician would be able to play that melody immediately, not just after it was sung, but while it's being sung, so they can sing and play at the same time, as one simultaneously. So I'd love to develop that skill. And again, that way you're having a pitch to cover up, my bad voice and my bad ear, something I can follow, right? But sometimes you might find it much simpler and flow more naturally to use a chord progression. Still not using rhythm though, because I'm not doing the Psalms, which chant was made for. I'm doing other scripture verses that are not lyrics. They're not made for songs, so normally I would forget the rhythm. Don't worry about trying to make it a pop song. It doesn't mean though that you can't use pop chord progressions. So what are chord progressions? Well, I keep throwing a little bit of theory out there because that will help you in your own songwriting, or I shouldn't even use that phrase. You're using music to worship with, right? Which also can aid you in your scripture memory. When I say that it aids in scripture memory, I guess from my own experience, when I'm trying to figure out a melody for a song and I'm trying to go over the song to fit, or the chord structure, I'm focused, more maybe on the music. So it probably isn't so great for memorizing. But of course, if I get one down where it's memorable because of the melody or the way it fits with the chord structure, if I'm more talking it or singing it more like blues where it doesn't have that much melody. But anyway, nonetheless makes it more memorable after the fact when you listen to it, and help you continue remembering that scripture that you memorized. But of course, I think the much more effective method of memorizing is going direct, where, like I said, I use rosary beads. You got 10 of them there, a decade. So recite the scripture 10 times, and then do another 10 times where you try to recite it from memory, but periodically looking back at the scripture, the text, to help you recall it. But this time, going to chord progressions. So, basic theory to help you in your own using music with scripture. So again, it's simple counting, right? You know your ABCs, you know how to count to 10, right? So C, D, E, F, G, A, B, back to C. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. I didn't count that right. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. I won't sing the Sound of Music on you. You would not appreciate that. But, so those are, anyway, they all have numbers then, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Back to do. 8, 1. So you can number those chords then. Now typically in the key of C then you have the 1, 4, 5 chords. Those are the major ones. What are they then? I just keep staying in the key of C for simplicity, right? Hey, if you have one of those digital keyboards and you work it out in the key of C and play it in that key, because that's really simple, but then it doesn't work so well with your voice, just hit the transpose key. Don't even need to worry about the black notes that way if you're staying within the key, right? So, the 1 chord is C, the 4 chord, C, D, E, F, the 5 chord, C, D, E, F, G. So the 1, 4, 5 chords. So that's what I did there. I followed a chord progression. The 1, 4, 5, back to 4. So you could just take a simple progression like that. The 1, the 4, the 5, the 4. And you know how simple that is. I won't bother moving my camera for you, and getting you dizzy. But anyway, you know that is, right? The C, skip D, E, skip F, G, C, E, G, right? So that same format, those same 3 fingers, that's your chord. And you know, you learn that, boom. You've got 7 chords memorized immediately. So unlike the guitar, it could take you a lot longer to learn chords. If you already play guitar, that's great. If you want to learn to play guitar, wonderful. That's my main instrument. I've only been playing piano not even a month here, but it's so simple to just, you know, play the chords on the piano. And then I got a nice big stand holding the book up for me. I got 2 hands that are free. So using the piano as a songwriting source is so helpful. That's why I want to do it. But, so anyway, there's the 1, the 4, the 5, the 4. Back to 1. Open up your scripture, play those chords, play around with it a little bit. You'll be able to sing something with it very quickly and easily. Because too, if it turns into a serious songwriting thing, you know, hey, what's verse 1, what's verse 2, what's verse 3, what's going to be the chorus? Do I need a pre-chorus? Do I need a post-chorus? Do I need to have a coda at the end? All that kind of thing. That's wonderful. You know, those are just patterns too. You can learn them. And maybe you do want to turn scripture into song, where you just keep repeating a phrase within the scripture to be able to make up a chorus or a refrain. Or maybe you need to add some words, take out some words. Wow, that sounds really bad if you're dealing with the book of Revelation, right? I don't mean like that. But for the purpose of songwriting, you know, maybe you do want to do that. Follow songwriting formulas and turn them actually into songs. I just hear so often when that's done that, like I said earlier, it's kind of like a train wreck where people are taking songs, scripture verses, treating them as though they're lyrics, staying true to them, not changing them around at all, and trying to sing it as though it's a pop song is just like, okay, those are really badly written lyrics, right? Did you use a thesaurus or a rhyming dictionary or any common aids for writing songs? Because that's really bad. No, scripture's not bad. Scripture is wonderful. It doesn't mean that it's good lyrics for pop songs. So that's what I want to do. I'm not going to have all this long-winded explanation on the following videos. Then I've already done this here, and because I'm just kind of experimenting for myself. You know, how do I want to approach it? Maybe I'll just do a little of this, a little of that, all of the above. I don't know. Or maybe I'll kind of find like, hey, this is the approach I like. Maybe I like using chords. I don't want to be following a melody. Maybe, hey, guitar's your main instrument. Stick with that. Quit trying to learn the piano, you know, especially on public with YouTube, you know. So maybe I'll find something that I find a rhythm that works for me and then use that regularly. Or maybe I'll just keep kind of bouncing around and trying things. So see what you do. The end.